So you have been hearing us talk a lot about the importance of social distancing. And it's not just us here in the United States practicing it. It's happening all across the globe. And on your sides, Robert Bradfield spoke with one American who's living in Singapore about what social distancing is like over there.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends we as Americans stay 6 feet apart from one another. But in Singapore, that recommendation is 3 feet. And I spoke with one American living there who says there are reminders everywhere.
People have accepted it.
Dean Chang says social distancing may become the new normal worldwide. He took these pictures showing businesses and restaurants in Singapore keeping people apart. He says the government is promoting the practice.
They have the public service announcements every chance you get, whether it be billboards or whether it's on the TV.
And it goes beyond having a safe space. Chang says people's temperatures are taken before they're allowed in common public areas like casinos and banks.
They will put it at the top, right there at the forehead, and measure your temperature, record it. You also have to write down your name and your contact number.
Along the First Coast, we're seeing similar social distancing guidelines. Some restaurants are restricting people from eating outside, while other businesses are using tape to keep customers at a distance. For Chang, who anticipates returning to the States in a few months, these safety measures will likely stick around for a while.
And I can't foresee this going away anytime soon.
Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, on your side.